Hi everyone, my name is Jay. I'm one of the faculty here at ISDI. This is Noharika. She is also one of my students, but also here to talk design with me. And we're very awkward at this point in time because this is the first time we're actually doing this. And we just wanted to maybe give you guys a little bit of an insight into the way we think and the way we do things over here. It's going to get better from here, trust me. We're going to be a little bit more focused as we go along, and with each new episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking more and more about design in depth, more about how we feel about it, what we think about it. For today, I think we'll just start the conversation by first saying hi.
Hi.
And what we're also going to do is just introduce ourselves a little bit more. Noharika, do you want to tell us something about yourself?
Hi, I'm Noharika and I'm a sophomore student. I'm doing fashion communication and yeah, that's pretty much about it. I feel I'm awkward right now.
So I am a design faculty here. I have been for 2 years now. I am also mainly an artist and a printmaker, but I also do photography. I've worked in films. I've written my own book. But I also like to teach very interesting different things, which includes printmaking, but also science fiction, alternative arts, very random things that I enjoy doing myself and enjoy exploring myself. So I think what we'll do is we'll start the conversation of today a little bit with, what do you think design is to you?
I feel design is a medium of expression. I feel, and if you can creatively express yourself, that's pretty much incredible. Like whatever way it is, I feel that is what design is to me, a medium of expression.
That's very cool. I mean, for me, it is something similar as well. I come from an art background, but I transitioned very quickly into design, not by choice, but I think by nature in a way. I've always had that kind of side to me. Initially, always loved to draw and sketch, but also just playing football. I'd be sitting and watching people play rather than just jumping into the fray immediately. So I was
like observing them.
Yeah, observing. And I think that's the basis of design for all of us is observation. So just getting a sense of what's around us and what's available to us and what we can do with it more than anything else. So I think for me, that's where it kind of started off. Whole idea of a podcast is we're starting off just trying to figure out, okay, what's happening here? What are we talking about? How are we going through this? It's a very unique kind of situation because you've never done this before.
No.
Right? I've only ever listened to podcasts. I've never actually done one before. So I think it's something we both can be awkward about.
Also because it's like the first podcast, so I'm like even more like pressured.
Yeah, I mean that's also there. We want it to be good, right? And then you have the question of what is objectively good?
Yeah.
What's entertaining? Because we do want you, the audience, to be quite entertained, but at the same time,
we still don't know like what they want.
Exactly. I mean, that's the fun part about design, right? You start doing your research, you start doing your interviews, you start trying to figure things out as you're going along. So I think that's also why it's so exciting because we're so confused.
Yeah, because you discover so much along the way, right?
Yeah,
I just feel like you just like start from here and you're supposed to go there, but then you like go everywhere and reach there. That's fun.
It is. I mean, we always kind of try and figure out what's fun before we try and figure out what's applicable, because that's when you're enjoying yourself and you're willing to take part in the process.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great thing for us to even do today. Like as we're talking about this, as we're discussing this, right? I mean, so I've known you now for over a year as a student and as a teacher in that sort of relationship. But the visage of you as a student in the first year is totally different to what you are today.
Yeah.
There is a change that's coming.
Yeah, I feel like when we started, and I think all of us, like all our peers and everyone, we were like focused on the product and like what we are going to deliver in the end. But we never like focused on the process. We were just like, okay, so we need to give that. So we already had like a result in our mind before like the process work.
Right.
But now it's like you're more concerned about the process work and everything that's going to go in it. And the result is just like totally different from what we anticipate.
Absolutely. I mean, it's something very important for us to actually figure out and apply as faculty as well. Like we have to also think that there's no fixed outcome that we're looking at, but we're trying to focus on the process a lot more as well. We'd rather have you enjoy the process and learn something from that. To be able to create something of your own rather than just say, make something.
Yeah, like just do it.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of it.
There's no point to that.
Yeah, I feel like when we like started initially, I won't lie, it was more like just doing it and like just getting rid of the project and like just enjoy it. But like now the enjoyment is like doing the processor, researching more or less, and that. I think that's fun.
That's fantastic. I mean, from time to time, one also has to question what it is that we're learning. Are we still learning the same old things? Are we learning them in the same way? Are we exploring new avenues? I think here at Izzy, at least as faculty, we get to introduce new avenues and do things in a different way with the students. I mean, I, for one, really enjoyed working with you all on the zine projects last year.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun because you all had stories to tell. And we could develop the stories together. We could actually create something interesting, something unique, and something original to you, which as a faculty becomes a great thing for me because I'm a part of that making process and that thinking process. So it's quite exciting. It's quite
Yeah, I feel
fun.
like all the projects that we have had in this past year, they were like really like personal to all of us. They were not like generalized. Although like everyone was doing like the same project, but it was not same. Like the outcome was different, the process was different, like our thinking behind it was different. It was like all the project work was like specifically like made for like people.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It was like that.
I think part of that also comes from the explorations, right? We didn't limit the exploration to just the classroom. We keep talking about the city as a lab. We keep talking about the city as an exploratory space, somewhere where, again, we come back to observation, right? Are we observing enough? Are we seeing enough? Are we seeing things the right way? What are the ways of seeing? These are all conversations that I think are very, very critical and important. I don't think I've had enough, but I think it's important that we start utilizing that more in day-to-day life. Like, very simple things, right? We choose what to wear every morning.
Yeah.
But in essence, I think it's important also for us to maybe reflect on what design is to us, right? We both come from very different backgrounds, like we've already said. Coming from an art background, that's only a part of the story, I'd like to say. My career has been across different industries and different projects and different things. But it all started with aircraft. As a kid, I always wanted to be an Air Force pilot. And I was fascinated by airplanes. My dad is in the aviation industry, so I've always grown up around the airport and airplanes and all of that kind of stuff. But just the idea of flight itself always fascinated me. The idea that we can make something out of physical, tangible materials that are heavier than air,
Yeah.
right? And have them fly.
Yeah.
Do something a bird does, do something an insect does.
That's it.
But at maybe 100, 150 times the weight.
Yeah.
Not even 100, maybe like even 1,000 times the weight. Because where is a little fly and where is an airplane, right?
Yeah.
But I would sit and just start sketching aircraft and I just start be like, okay, what would it be in terms of this design or this style, or would these parts work together? Would it be aerodynamic? Very simple, objective questions. And all my notebooks had aircraft. Every single one of them. Right? Today I'm not flying aircraft or designing
why is
them.
that?
Well, I'm horrible with maths. So basically maths came in, took my dreams and flew away with them. But it's also fun for me to actually still sit and doodle aircraft. Because that's never gone away. I'm still designing those things. So if at some point Lockheed Martin, Boeing, ISRO, somebody, I don't know, you find my books, then you've got a whole litany of aircraft you can choose from that you can maybe put together. They'll all be outmoded and obsolete, but it'll be fun maybe for model making and something like that, I think.
That's crazy. I feel like I was always driven by like art because like my dad is really good with art and like sketching and everything. Although like he never like pursued it, but he was always like really good with sketching and like live figures and everything. So I somehow had that gene in me, that's what I believe. And I tried it, but like, I don't know, like it never like happened for me. Like I am into design, that's how I know. But then it's not like sketching for me. It's more like communicating for me.
Right.
It's more like that for me, yeah.
I think that's a good point you touched on, because communication is key for all of us as human beings in our relationships and how we interact with each other. If we didn't have good communication, then you'll probably be filing a complaint saying, I have a bad teacher. Right? Yeah. But at the same time, when you're not clear with your communication to me, with your work, that's when I'm marking you down in
Yes,
grades,
yeah.
right? So it's a quid pro quo. It goes both ways,
Yeah.
and we both, as a teacher and as a student, or as just two human beings, we need to have clear communication. Like this conversation wouldn't be happening if we weren't able to read each other's intent or read each other's intonation and
Yeah.
just sort of pick up where the other person is leaving off. And I think that's also a fair assessment of what design is meant to be, where you can come in and say, okay, this is my idea, and I can take that idea and run with it and develop it further instead of completely changing it.
Yeah.
But even if I do change it, you're still able to read your parts of that concept and bring your touch back to it and maybe modify it a little further and make it better. And at the end of it, just develop something that works. I think that's also key in our overall performance, maybe in the world of design.
Yeah. What next?
Right? So you were in a typical college, junior college. You came in from that sort of background.
Yeah.
How was your
And it's really like studious, like poke and like just like reading and then puking. That's what we were doing. But I feel like when I came here for the tour of the college, the first thing that really struck me was like when ma'am told us that there are not going to be any books. I was like, I mean, isn't it like a college? Like we're supposed to study because we always like put like we always had this in our mind that like books and books and books. Like that's the only medium how you can like learn in life. But that's not true, and that's what I learned here. Like we do practical stuff here, and I mean that's pretty much it.
I think, but there is also more than just that. Right? There was a period of adjustment. Like, what was that mental adjustment like, where you suddenly realized you had to write more, you had to think more?
Yeah, I mean, back in school, we were like, there was no like thinking involved. It was more like whatever like the teacher's teaching us, we have to just like write it down back in the paper or whatever. But now here it was like we were just like left like dogs, like do what you want, but like just think, and keep thinking and keep observing, think, observe. So I mean that was difficult because initially I felt like I used to like restrict myself, like automatically restricting myself. Like I used to spend like 10 minutes and I used to be like, okay, I have thought enough. Yeah, that's enough for now. Like, this is what I have. But now it's like even if I think for like 1.5 hours or more than that for like a day, I still feel like tomorrow I'm gonna like have another idea. So what do? Now I don't know when to stop. It's that. So I feel like that whole transition is obviously like incredible to say. I mean I have like a long way to go. Like I have to like learn. I feel I mean the fact that I can think more now, like I'm not restricting my brain and mind is good.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, also considering that you went from humanities into fashion communication and styling, right?
Totally.
Why that choice? Why that direction?
So honestly, like I was always driven by fashion, like no jokes. Like I always loved like as a child, like fashion is not vogue for me, but it's more like dressing up in like fancy clothes, having bows on my head.
You went into regular college life and then you had to think, and you've come into now communications, fashion communication styling, and I think the storytelling aspect of it is maybe what attracts you a little bit. That you get to put on a show in a way, and it's not just for you anymore. It's
you have
for
an audience.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that's like the best part about it. Like having an audience and having like people to like appreciate your work or even like criticize it. I think that feeling is great. And for me to like adapt to the fact that criticism comes with it, that took me like a while. I mean, that was.
But that's also part of design, right? We talked about doing better and making new things, and criticism is something that we've never really handled well, I'd like to say, in India. We're usually just criticized. We're not critiqued.
Yeah.
A critique, you will always have like a positive outcome to it. You're learning something from it. You're developing something from it. So I think that is something we both as teacher and student have learned over time in our interactions with each other, is that if you have to say something, have something positive to say.
Yeah.
If you're going to find something negative, don't just present the negativity. It's also maybe present a positive spin on it, something that can be creative, something that's constructive, something that you can learn from. Never make the same mistake because you've learned from it, but also if you do make the same mistake, you can identify that you're making the mistake in the process of it instead of after.
Yeah.
So you can sort of self-correct and
Yes,
sort of
I
edit.
still remember like how every time we used to do a project back in the first year, y'all didn't like it. Y'all were like just like do better, do better, do better, do better. And although like it really like made us like agitated, but I feel like it got us where we are. Like we were able to choose our principles because like
Right.
we went through that process. We did that extra work. So yeah.
Again, I think
Although I didn't do so much work.
no, she did. She did quite well. The reason for doing that again for us is if we just tell you, excuse me, do better and then not say how,
Yeah.
it becomes pointless.
Yeah.
So I think that's something as faculty I feel really happy about is the fact that I can sit down with you and look at your work and say, okay, this is where you're falling short, or this is how you could change it, this is what you can modify, this is maybe you can think along these lines or expand your thought process. Just simple things like that allowed you to challenge me in a way and say, okay, here's 4 more ideas, right? This is definitely better than the last one. And then I have to come back to you and say, okay, it's almost the same, but you've just looked at it from a different point of view.
Yeah.
So where's the change? What's new? And then we keep doing this back and forth then that allows for innovation to come in and allows for change to come in. I think that's why you guys grew a lot more as well. We also grew as faculty because we started looking at things differently.
Yeah.
I think that's also a great way to approach design, not just as a career, as an industry, but also as a lifestyle. Like just finding ways to be positive about things and find new ways to do things. I think that's critical for us as well.
I remember like in school, like even like our teachers used to be like critical with our work. Even they used to be like, you know, like you can improve. But they used to like tell us how you can improve. Like they were like, do this and it's going to be great. So then that way I feel like our imagination was restricted. And here it's like every time we ask you guys are like, you leave us with a question mark. You're like, okay, but what are you going to do now? I'm just like, I thought it's over. So I mean, I feel like that was like one flip that I felt like, okay, so like we have to think for our own work. Because there you were like spoon fed.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the difference. Yeah.
Just to maybe round off the conversation that we've had today, what is maybe your take on your own personal sense of design? Like what is your maybe personal definition of design?
I might be wrong, but as of now, how much I understand design is like from able to like put together an outfit. That's as basic as it sounds, but that makes me like go through like 1 hour every morning. No jokes. Even like putting like a normal outfit, being a fashion student is difficult, okay? You have eyes on you constantly. So I feel like that is like design for me for now. I'm like constantly trying to put together mood boards. What mood am I in? What outfit? What vibe goes with it? What's my vibe today? What's my mood today? So like all of that. I feel like that's design for me. I feel with time it's gonna change. But for now it's just putting together an outfit. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the conversation today. We hope you guys have enjoyed this little peek into design. This is our first time doing this, so we will definitely be improving. We'll be a little bit more concise with what we're doing and how we're putting things together. But we hope to see you back here again soon. And bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.